The evening, my darling batlings.
Hydrate, you bastard! Hydrate!
You already starting me with the hydrates? Okay. I see that Lulu's already here in chat for some more Sly Cooper. I know you're enjoying the Sly Cooper. We were supposed to do Zenless Zone Zero tonight, but I don't want to burn myself out on that game quite yet, considering that's still new. So
Yeah.
I'm taking it slowly.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing some more Sly Cooper tonight. I thought about switching over to the PS3 version just for cleaner picture and widescreen, so it doesn't have so much, dead space on the sides of the screen. But I went through a whole rigmarole last night of trying to get the HD collection onto my hard drive that I play my PS3 games off of, only for it to freeze in the middle of copying. And so I shut down the copy process, and that froze the Windows File Explorer, so I shut that down, and that seems to have fried the external hard drive that I was using. Because it won't work anymore. Yeah, you're loving this voice? Thank you. It's fine though, because that was like a 7-year-old hard drive. It was due to die sometime soon anyway.
Yeah, fair, but still. Always sucks when that happens when you least expect it.
Yeah. But luckily prices of external drives have dropped by a lot, so I can get one that's newer and better for less money that I pay for that one. And yes, for once I did break it. Hey Cloud, showing up early this time. 3 consecutive streams for a stream streak. Ooh woo.
How many times have I told you not to do that ever again?
I didn't do the same thing as last time. Oh, I said something completely different this time.
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct. But still!
Exactly. It should have sounded slightly less cursed with this voice changer on.
That is true. It did sound less cursed.
Feeling what's a bit of pain in your shoulder? Oh, I'm sorry, Cloud. If it makes you feel any better, if I can get the okay from Shiva, I can send you the preview of that piece of fan art I had commissioned of us.
Also, this is for
I'll
you,
just
Cloud,
have to
because-
DM her and ask her. I'll have to ask Shiba for the go-ahead, because, I don't want to spoil her art before it's done.
Right.
Without her consent, of course, because she is the artist.
That's no good.
Yeah, hope that pain in your shoulder goes away soon, Cloud. That's never fun. And for me, it's like...
I was having some pain of my own earlier.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, that's what I felt about a week and a half ago before half my hand went numb. So, I think for me...
For me, it's because we have storms coming through here. And whenever we get storms, I start getting, headaches.
Ugh. Yeah, for me, my problem was I decided
thankfully,
Yeah.
Thankfully, my headache wasn't too severe this time. Didn't want to have to cancel stream 2 nights in a row. Last night I had to cancel because I just wasn't feeling it. And I didn't want to force myself if I wasn't feeling up to streaming. Because that never makes for a good stream. I'm trying to get better at not forcing myself to do stuff I'm not feeling up to.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I am proud of you. I am proud of you for, setting your own boundaries.
Aw, thanks. I almost called you honey, but I feel like that would have been a step too far.
Yeah.
Unless I
You're my
were to
best
do it
friend.
in a Southern Belle voice, in which case it would have been acceptable.
Yeah, maybe I actually probably would have accepted that if it were in a Southern Belle voice.
Are you sure about that, honey?
Hey, that wasn't actually too bad. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I grew up in the South, so I know how these accents sound. Hey,
Well,
Dash
of
Cat.
course.
Glad to see you here, at the beginning of one of my streams. Because, I know last time you tuned in right at the end. Voice changer sounds a lot better. I didn't change any settings on it, so I don't know. Maybe it's, an upgrade. Maybe it's just, an upgrade on, like, the provider's side? Because this is, like, hosted by a server to, take the processing load off of my PC. So they could have just done some upgrades on their side.
Yeah, but yeah, in regards to pain, it was like, for me, the reason I had shoulder pain was because I made the dumb idea about a week and a half ago to try and contort myself into this awkward position just to get something out from underneath my desk. And yeah, shortly after that, 2 of my fingers went numb, and then half my hand went numb as well. So, yeah, pinched nerves, no
When
good.
you started saying you had to, awkwardly contort yourself, I thought you were going to say, like, I had to awkwardly contort myself to sit comfortably, and I would be like, bro, same. It's that I sit autistically, which means I have to sit in the most uncomfortable positions to feel comfortable. Like right now, I'm sitting in a lotus position in my office chair.
Yeah, in the past, I've done something similar where it's like, no joke, the chair that I used to sit in before I had my desk, I would be like laying in that chair, whereas the computer would be on the hassock. I'd be laying with my legs basically draped over the side of the chair, like on over the side of one of the arms on the chair, and be like kind of propped up on one side. So yeah, not a very good position to fall asleep in.
Yeah.
Which has happened.
You wanna play with
Actually,
your
now,
Mario game?
now that I'm looking at my settings, I found out why I did change that might have affected the voice changer is I changed my equalizer preset on Sonar. It was set to deep voice before, but I changed it to broadcast low pitch. What the fuck is this song? This is Mario Be Playing by the rap master T-Dub.
He might have went to the past to the future, but I'm gonna make the new game have the future. Man,
Is this not the best rap song you've heard all day?
Man, you wanna hit it down with the big town? Man,
Or at least it would be if you could understand anything that he was saying.
Man, something emo. Once they get together, they're gonna be the team of the memes.
Like, even with subtitles, I still don't know what he's saying because it's like verbal diarrhea. It's just words that don't flow together to form any coherent ideas. Trying to drown out T-Dub with Crypto Luigi? I see, that's my cue to get things started then, is it?
Yes. Story time over. On to the show.
I mean, speaking of story time, I've got a story for you. I guess I'll start things off with a little story that I read recently. More of a pagan than a story, but fuck it. It's called The Hypnotizer. This is an abridged retelling of The Hypnotizer written by the children's author and poet Michael Rosen, who you might know as a popular YouTube poop source, or who you might also know, if you're of a certain age range, for writing We're Going on a Bear Hunt. Anyways, The Hypnotizer. Hypnotizer? I hardly know her.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Nah, Dashcan, you don't hate me. You're just a tsundere. You're just in your tsundere phase of our relationship. And before anyone asks, yes, the screen flashing various shades of pink and green is normal. It's because I'm loading it off the hard drive.
Hey, Dash Cat.
Let me guess.
Oh, wait.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
No, actually, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say this. Are you sure about that?
So if the picture looks any different this time, it's because I'm playing in 1440p now and using optimal sampling instead of the generic 4x3 presets. So things may look a little bit sharper now. Not sure. It's kind of hit and miss when it comes to PS2 games. Because PS2 games have an inherently blurry video.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
This isn't Billy Mays, this is Sly Cooper. Anyway, time to once again check out that ominous noise coming from Murray. You got OG Final Fantasy VII for $6? Physical copy or digital? Because if you got physical copy for $6, that's a fucking steal. That game usually goes for like 80 or more. Digital, yeah, I figured. But, you know, I was hoping that... Part of me was hoping that you managed to find someone who didn't know how much it was worth. Digital copy is a better way to play it anyway, because you don't have to deal with the, pain in the ass that is swapping discs.
Study up on the Panda King.
Alright, so as a recap, we've already taken out Sir Raleigh, we've taken out Mugshot, and we've taken out Ms. Ruby, so now we've got to go after the Panda King.
But when he tried to offer his fireworks to the noblemen, they couldn't see past his shabby clothes and chased him away. Humiliated, the Panda King took revenge on those who
Wrong
shunned him,
panda.
using the very
Not
tools of
Paul.
his art.
This is a different panda. He doesn't use Kung Fu. He uses fireworks.
And from then on, his explosive touch became feared worldwide. He's rumored to be perfecting some new firework technique high in the unstable Kunlun Mountains of western China.
And he's not voiced by Jack Black. I mean, he calls it flame fu. Yeah, but, well, then again, I haven't seen any of the Kung Fu Panda movies, so I'm speaking from a position of ignorance. Listen to this Crash Bandicoot-ass music. It does sound... Sly 1 soundtrack does sound pretty Crash Bandicoot-esque. And that makes sense when you find out that a lot of Sly's gameplay was modeled after Crash Bandicoot. Or at least for the first game.
Makes sense, actually.
I've heard that Kung Fu Panda is one of those things where it sounds like a stupid concept, and then you actually see it, it's like the best thing ever. Like, I've heard that, as far as, like, later DreamWorks stuff goes, people put it up there with, How to Train Your Dragon as some of their best work. Which I also haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon.
Your Dragon's actually pretty good. I've enjoyed almost every How to Train Your Dragon show or movie or whatever that's been put out.
Oh my gosh, that's awful! That poor village just got buried in freezing snow!
The rocket came from that giant statue. You can bet the Panda King lit the fuse.
Why? Because I was
Fast, before the police
just
brought
entering college at the time these movies were coming out. And I didn't have the time to go to the movies that often. Because I
Yeah.
was too busy not going to class. And flunking out of university.
Oh, shit.
Well, I didn't flunk out. I withdrew before I could flunk out.
Oh, that's good.
You know, I did some research on like some pre-development and script concepts for the Sly series, and knowing a lot of the stuff from like the planning stages of the first game that went on to shape the rest of the series makes a lot of stuff make more sense in context. Like one of the things that really explained a lot to me was the inspiration for Inspector Carmelita Fox. The character designer for the Sly series said that Carmelita was inspired by the actress Salma Hayek. Who, if you know Salma Hayek, you can totally see why they decided to make Carmelita the sexy one. And why they made her Latina.
Nice.
Oh, and also, Sly went through a lot of designs before they settled on his final one. Like, Sucker Punch's game they were kind of known for before Sly Cooper was an N64 game called Rocket Robot on Wheels. And the initial design for Sly in early concepts was closer to the raccoon antagonist character Jojo from Rocket Robot on Wheels, where he was like shorter and pudgier and looked less like, suave thief and more like, Cockney bruiser. And he apparently, before they settled on him speaking like a suave thief, like you would see in, a Parisian crime story, he was going to speak with a Jersey accent. I swear this old PlayStation dev were down bad designing these Amber characters. Between Carmelita being based on Salma Hayek and Tawna Bandicoot being based on Pamela Anderson, someone somewhere was definitely venting their fetishes. No, not JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The main antagonist of Rocket Robot on Wheels was a raccoon named Jojo. This was before even the first JoJo OVA came out. I believe. So it's by complete coincidence that they're both named JoJo. The OVA that's not legally available anymore due to rights issues. Pamela Anderson, isn't she a porn actress? Not... Interesting timing. Interesting timing for the speed. But no, she's not a porn actress, but she did have a sex tape that got leaked on the internet. She's mostly like, an actress that was hired for being sexy.
Yeah.
Starred in like some movies that played entirely off of her perceived sexiness. She posed for Playboy a few times, but she never did like straight up porn outside of her sex tape with her then husband, Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee, being posted online. we might be thinking of, because this is like similar level of fame at the same time, except this one actually was a porn actress, would probably be, oh God, what was her name? Jenna Jameson.
In relation to J. Jonah Jameson?
Hopefully not. If so, JJ's probably having a stroke.
You can't get through the security gate without one of the
That's a comic book ass name. Just wait until you find out that there's an active porn star right now, literally named April O'Neil.
One key coming up.
Oh, shit.
And yes, she has played April O'Neil in a Ninja Turtles parody.
Oh, jeez, of course. Because of course she has.
Yeah, it's like just the character's name, except she removed the apostrophe in O'Neil, so it's like all one word, O'Neil. You know, for trademark reasons. Because she can't just call herself she can't just call herself a copyrighted character's name. She has to change it just enough to be legally distinct. The best kind of distinct.
Mm-hmm.
Press the circle to enter the vault code. I got a real headache figuring this one out. Input 578.
I'm still not over the fact that Bentley apparently knows Navajo code talk.
Yeah, right.
It just gets better and better. I'd always heard that one of your southern ancestors, Huckleberry Cooper, developed a technique to move while staying invisible. Hold down the circle button to turn invisible, then move around with the left analog stick.
Okay, so we're just now establishing that Sly Cooper is a descendant of a Mark Twain character. There's a lot of weird lore in Sly Cooper if you look at all the stuff in the Thievius Raccoonus. So like Sly just has superpowers, yeah. Apparently the Thievius Raccoonus isn't just like a repository of Master Thief knowledge, it just gives you superpowers by reading it. Because keep in mind, he also got the ability to casually slow down and speed up time at will. Before he got the ability to turn invisible. Like, he just gets a page of the Thievius Raccoonus, it's like, oh, this is the one page of the book that teaches you how to negate fall damage. And yes, that is actually a power you get from one of the pages.
Oh, wow.
Just wait until we get to Sly Free, and like spoilers for Sly Free, the final ability we get in that game is the ability to walk on lasers.
Because why not?
Dare I say, why not?
Precisely.
Another interesting development note that I read was in earlier concept ideas for the first Sly Cooper game, Bentley was supposed to be canonically vicarious. Not Bentley, Murray. Murray was supposed to be vicarious.
Oh.
No problem.
And
They seem to have plenty of firepower.
that
over there.
unfortunately had to be
Find a few more
cut
treasure keys
due
get
to
out.
that being perceived as too mature for an E-rated game at the time, because they were aiming for an E rating with all of these.
Yeah.
But they would later kind of revisit that in the fourth game, Thieves in Time, with Bentley. I keep getting Bentley and Murray's names confused. I don't know why. With Murray having a enjoyment of cross-dressing.
This looks like a good place to try out your new invisibility.
Yeah, Murray could have.
Hold down the circle
Murray, I'm
button to
confusing
drop
the
out
names
sight.
now.
While
Murray
invisible,
could have been an
see
early
all
bicon for the
lasers
furry
got
community.
searchlights, not guards. Oh, and if the guards already see you, then the invisibility trick won't work on them.
Another thing I read was when I came to casting Carmelita, you know how it's sort of a gag that they recast Carmelita every game? They actually recast her before the first game came out. Because if you look at early previews and demos of Sly Cooper from, like, its announcement before it got to, like, public betas and public demos, she had a different voice actress who had a much thicker Hispanic accent, and she was replaced with Roxana Ortega for the final game because the original actress, who still hasn't been identified to this day, her accent was too thick for people to understand.
Damn.
Oh, you know that modern day Sony would jump at the chance to make Murray bisexual just to pretend that they've been supportive of the LGBT community this whole time. Yeah, it's better. I'll take fake sincerity over nothing, and I'll take nothing over, you know, bigotry. But like, you know, what's it called, like rainbow washing or rainbow capitalism, that's what it's called, where corporations pretend to be like staunch supporters of the LGBT community because it's good for business. I'll take that over actively working against them, like a lot of other companies do.
Yeah. It sucks, but it's better than, you know, it's better than being intolerant, I guess.
Yeah. Agreeing with Dashcat, the developers definitely care. It's more so like the corporate suits. They're like trying to think about how can we market this to as many people as possible and make it seem like we're doing something bold and exciting. You know, sort of like how Disney had with every new movie has their first gay character ever.
Yeah.
Like, Sony's been better about that than a lot of other companies have, so I will give them credit where credit is due. Like, I still see it as, you know, a bit of, like, corporate pandering. But, I'll take, you know, refusing to release your game your games in territories that criminalize LGBT people over making your LGBT characters so insignificant and so underwritten that that their sexualities and gender orientations can be edited out of international releases, so as to maximize profits in areas that are not friendly to the LGBT community. It's kind of like Steven Universe, where the show got canceled for a gay wedding, but CN pretends that they always supported that gay wedding. Yeah, it's like how Nickelodeon acts like they were totally supportive of the reveal at the finale of Korra that Korra is bisexual or lesbian, depending on your interpretation of it. And even though they were like actively working to bury the show by making the entire final season an online exclusive with no promotion.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you were always supportive of it if people like it. If they didn't like it, then it was something that you allowed that you regret. That's how it usually plays out. Yep, capitalism, baby.
Then I think it is time that I escape. So the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism.
Spice!
Indeed.
I'll have to get the good doctor to finish working on the modifications to the castle to allow it to lift off. Now you may be wondering, if the good doctor is a descendant of Dr. Frankenstein, why is he working on space propulsion devices and stuff like that? Isn't he supposed to be making monsters? The answer is he's a renaissance man of science.
Dr. Wowie.
I mean, we'll probably find Dr. Wowie somewhere. Yeah, we'll find Dr. Wowie the same place we'll find Mega Man, in Capcom's basement.
Yep.
The good doctor, isn't he a surgeon? Not that good doctor. The one of the characters in my lore of my reviews when I get around to fucking making them is a descendant of Dr. Frankenstein. That will be played by a certain person in the call right now.
I wonder who they could be.
Yeah, I'm shamelessly taking inspiration from my friend Mistress Dove with having a cast of characters based on the Universal movie monsters to flesh out the world.
Hey, if it works, it works.
I would say, sadly, I can't have the Joker in my universe due to trademark issues, but then I remembered that there's a, directly copyright infringing as the point of it, LGBT movie that came out this year after being stuck in legal limbo for a few years, called The People's Joker, that has gotten really good reviews, and it's actively spitting in the face of Warner Brothers copyright stuff, which I support.
Nice.
Specifically, it's it doesn't really have anything to do with the Joker movie or anything from the comics. It's more so a story. It's more of like an anarcho-communist story of coming out as transgender and finding a family apart from the family that you grew up with and that rejected you for being different than what they accept. So, like, the Joker in The People's Joker is a trans woman who becomes a comedian and starts a chaotic romance with like a trans man based on Harley Quinn, I believe.
From now on, you should be able to pop right out of those bottomless pits you keep falling into.
And then there's also characters based on the Penguin and like a whole bunch of other stuff. It's not on home video yet, but it's been doing the film festival circuit, and it's gotten really good reviews.
Nice.
That's sick as fuck. Yeah, it is. And Warner Brothers tried to stop it from getting released because it was infringing on their copyrights. And while they never actually went to court about it, from what we know, the director of the movie, who also starred in it because it's semi-autobiographical, at least as far as the coming out part is concerned, was like willing to go to court over it.
Oh, wow.
Because technically, she was within her legal right, because this would be a cut and dry case of fair use.
Yeah. Fair use? What's that?
Something that doesn't exist on YouTube or Twitch.
Unfortunately.
As I know from lots of experience with Toei. And with Arc System Works. As my first run-in with the YouTube copyright system.
Oh, lovely.
Like facade, this place is really some sort of trading ground. Stay on your toes.
Yeah, it's got like, it had a limited theatrical run, I believe. It's not out on home video or streaming services yet, but keep an eye out for it. Again, just to spread the word about this movie, it's called The People's Joker.
Okay.
Oh, and another neat thing about The People's Joker from what I've read, because again, haven't been able to see it, and I refuse to yar har fiddle dee it because I want to support this movie in any way I can.
Right.
To avoid dead naming the Joker character, and by extension, to avoid dead naming the actress who plays her, who also directed the movie, any instance of the Joker character's dead name being stated in film is censored.
Nice. Shows respect.
And that also works as a callback to how the Joker's real identity is never ever really revealed in
That is true.
most adaptations in most comics. Sorry to get sidetracked on that long tangent about the People's Joker, but I'm fascinated by movies that either never get released or have like a long, hellish road to getting released. And The People's Joker happens to be one of the most recent examples of movies that got out of that hell. And I'm very happy about it and very excited for it.
That's awesome.
Like, another example that's been stuck in legal hell for about 10 years at this point is a documentary about the room called A Room Full of Spoons. Where it features extensive interviews with a lot of the former cast members of The Room. But Tommy Wiseau has been filing multiple fraudulent lawsuits to try and prevent it from getting released. Because it potentially makes him look bad.
Can't have that, can we?
Make Sly a trans femme Joker? Hell yeah, brother. But yeah, that movie's been finished for a long time. It just hasn't been released because Tommy Wiseau, every time he gets defeated in court, files another appeal to the judgment. So, like, he has like infinite money somehow. No one knows where he gets his wealth from. There's a lot of like conspiracy theories about where he got his money from, but none of them have been confirmed. Part of which, like, that's not a new thing. Like, The Room was made for $6 million that he funded entirely by himself, and no one knows where he got that $6 million from. But Tommy was always someone that likes to be in control of his own PR and his own public image, and doesn't like it when people make him look foolish or, you know, like a bad person.
Yeah.
Which a lot of stuff that we know about the production of The Room shows that he's kind of a shitty person. Dark money, I tell you. My favorite conspiracy theory that I heard from, it was either Tomato Ghost or Pause Break. I can't remember which. Both of which are streamers and YouTubers you should check out. I've worked with them before on the Star Productions improv hand-ups. And it was, I believe, Tomato Ghost that introduced me to the Look Who's Come to Dinner video. But like, the theory that they had told me about, not necessarily that they believe, but that they informed me of, was, you know, D.B. Cooper? The mysterious unidentified man who hijacked an airplane, stole a briefcase full of a ton of money, parachuted off of the plane, and then was never found. The theory is that Tommy Wiseau is D.B. Cooper. Because Tommy Wiseau's old enough to have been there. And D.B. Cooper, according to eyewitnesses, spoke with an unidentifiable, vaguely European accent. It's like the theory that Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer. Like, it's totally bonkers, but it just kinda makes sense if you don't think about the logistics of it. You're choosing to believe it? Yeah, I choose to believe it too, because it makes more sense than what Tommy says, which is that he earned his money by selling Levi's jeans in the LA area.
Yeah, I
Which
don't
we know
buy
to
that.
not be true because he didn't. We know that to not be true because he wasn't selling real Levi's jeans, he was selling knockoffs. But it is true that he ran a small chain of clothing retailers in the LA area called Street Fashions. And if you've seen any of the rooftop scenes from the room, and you notice that the skyline looks really weird, and it doesn't look like it matches the perspective of, like, the rest of the scene, that's because the rooftop scenes were shot on a blue screen set instead of a real rooftop. And then after they finished filming everything, it was time to composite and edit the movie. They found that they need B-roll of the skyline to put into the rooftops. And Tommy was like, oh, you can use the rooftop of one of my street fashion stores to get shots of the skyline. And, Greg Sestero and the editor and all them were like, wait, we've had access to a rooftop for free this entire time, and you had us build a set that looked less real? He's in it. Tommy Wiseau is like Austin Powers. He's an international man of mystery. The room never ceases to amaze you. Read the book, The Disaster Artist. It shines a lot of light on the weirder stuff in the room and makes a lot... I hesitate to say it makes the room make sense. But it makes a lot of the really weird stuff in the room start to kinda make sense. If you've seen the room and you've paid attention to the backgrounds of any of the apartment scenes, you'll probably notice that the picture frames that they have in the background all have pictures of spoons in them instead of pictures of Tommy Wiseau and Lisa, which you would expect for their home, but no, it's just framed pictures of spoons. It does explain the spoons. The spoons is because they bought those picture frames from a local thrift store. And they had the spoon pictures already in them as just like the stock photo that you're supposed to replace when you buy the picture frame. And they just never replaced the pictures. So they just had the spoons in there because they came that way.
So just laziness on Tommy's part.
Yes.
Why am I not surprised?
So yeah, that's the story behind the spoons. There's also the story of how little Tommy Wiseau understands how film cameras work, like movie cameras, proper cameras for making movies, how little he understands about them. Not just like how they work, but how filmmakers use them and how they get access to those cameras. Because if you're making a feature film, you usually settle on one of two film formats. Either Academy grade film, which is actual film stock, or you'll, especially in more modern days, you'll use a digital HD camera, or even a digital 4K or 8K camera. Tommy Wiseau didn't know that. So he went to a store that rents out camera equipment for film productions. He also didn't know that movie studios do not buy cameras because that's not efficient. You rent them, and then you return them after the film production's up. He bought one film camera and one digital camera, which is much more expensive than renting one or the other. He bought both of them, and he didn't know the difference between the picture quality you get from film and the picture quality you get from digital HD. So he had them build like a special jury-rigged mount for the cameras, so it filmed with both cameras at the same time. Even though film and HD digital require two completely different sets of lighting to get a good picture out of them. Which is why the movie has shit lighting, because the lighting's not set up for either of them. In fact, if the disaster artist is to be believed, when one of their many directors of photography, they went through like 3 DPs throughout production because they kept quitting because Tommy Wiseau was ridiculous to work with. When their new DP came on, and the old DP was like getting him caught up on the production, he saw the camera rig that had the 2 completely different kinds of cameras. He's like, how do you light for this? And the old DP, before he left, says, poorly. And you want to know the real kicker to this thing about filming with 2 cameras and having bad lighting for both of them?
I'm actually curious now.
None of the digital HD footage made it into the final product, and none of it has been publicly seen.
Oh, go figure.
So he went to all this trouble to buy 2 expensive cameras and film with both of them at the same time with a setup that compromised the lighting conditions for both of them, just to end up only using one camera's footage in the final product. Also, because, Dashcat, when you mentioned the song that plays in the sex scenes, there's a detail about that, because when you're making a movie and you haven't gotten around to getting the final compositions for the score done yet, but you still need some music to at least set the mood of the scene, so you can send that off to the composers to compose to. Basically, you create what's called a work print, which is like not edited down to the final product. It has often copyrighted music that you don't have a license to, that's going to be removed in the final product and replaced by something that either matches the mood or sounds vaguely similar to it. Greg Sestero in the Disaster Artist book mentions that in the work print of The Room, for the sex scenes, they use music by Journey.
Oh, this ought to be good.
And that he couldn't help but laugh because, like, you have these fucking softcore porn scenes going on, basically, and you just hear Journey music playing to them. Sadly, the work print hasn't publicly surfaced, but I would love to see that, just to see what Greg Sestero has described. The Room's one of the most fascinating bad movies because so much of its production has actually been documented. Like a lot of other bad movies, we don't have, a lot of the famous bad movies, either the people who worked on it have become reclusive and we can't get in touch with them to find out what happened, or they've died, or they tell conflicting stories about what happened. But with The Room, we have reliable sources from people willing to talk about the production, so we can know exactly why it turned out the way it did. And that's part of why it's such a fascinating bad movie to talk about. Or at least in my opinion, with my snooty film critic hat on, that's my take on why it's such a fascinating bad movie to talk about.
I still have yet to actually have seen The Room.
Next time I see you, we're definitely dedicating a night to watching The Room.
Hell yeah. I'll hold you to it.
I might even spring for the Blu-ray version just so we can watch it in the best quality possible.
Oh,
even though I already have the DVD. Hey, Kier.
Hey, Kier. What you mean, Ooga Booga?
Trying to think of some more, the string definitely gave me breast cancer. There's also a story for why... I say there's a story. It's Tommy Wiseau's explanation, but that doesn't make it make any more sense. Why the breast cancer thing is in there, and why the drug deal scene is in there, and all that stuff that doesn't factor into the plot whatsoever and never gets mentioned again. It's because Tommy Wiseau wanted this movie, according to Tommy Wiseau, who, is not the most reliable person to get information from, because he's done a lot of revisionist history on his own production to make it look like all of this was intentional. He says he wanted this movie to commentate on all of the issues that American society was facing in the early 2000s. So... there's stuff about cancer, there's stuff about infidelity, there's stuff about drug addiction and crime. I don't buy a word of it. I don't believe that's why it's in there, but that's the only explanation we've gotten so far. Why'd you even bring it up anyway? How's your sex life?
BRB, post office just delivered.
Another reason to read the disaster. Oh, nice. Another reason to read The Disaster Artist is that we get a little mini biography of Tommy Wiseau. As in, we get the most backstory that we're probably ever going to get about this man because he's so secretive about his early life. Out of respect for his privacy, Greg Sestero doesn't reveal his birth name, but does reveal that starts with a T, and gives an abridged retelling of Tommy Wiseau's life story that he has kept secret from the public, because it's actually kind of sad and traumatic. Part of it being that his "where the fuck are you from" accent is because he's originally from either Poland or Czechoslovakia, and then moved across various countries, including France, until ending up in Louisiana, and then moving to LA. So the reason his accent is so unique is because he's lived in so many different places that he sort of melded all these different dialects and accents into one. No pants life, hell yeah, brother. Never thought the Sly Cooper stream would have so much room lore. That's what you get when you talk to me. Is it you get unprompted and uninvited Tommy Wiseau lore. Which his his traumatic experiences in France tie into why the dialogue in the round the correct package came today. Yes, when we're all in... well, you can open it before JKR gets his, but I do at least want you to be on call with me to see what your figure is. Because I just like seeing people open the gifts that I get them.
I'm back.
I swear this man's an anime antagonist backstory, what the hell? Yeah, like I was gonna say, his traumatic experiences in France, which I won't go into, mostly because I can't remember exactly how it played out, explain why the dialogue is so clunky in parts of the room. Like, if you notice, whenever in the room, whenever Johnny or Lisa refer to each other by the fact that they're going to get married, they never say the word fiancé. They always say future husband and future wife, which, you know, is the more literal translation of the word. It's because Tani Wiseau had such a traumatic time living in France. He had such a traumatic time living in France that he grew a hatred for everything French, including the French language, and refuses to speak it under any circumstances, and did not want any French words, even if they're English words borrowed from the French language, in his movie script. So that's why fiancé is not in the script, but future husband and future wife is.
I swear, those
In
lines
fact,
are just too damn clunky.
The easiest way to get him, like, legitimately angry at you is to speak to him in French. Like, Greg Sestero's mom, who's French and Sicilian, French and I believe either Sicilian or Corsican descent, and is fluent in French. She saw Tani Wiseau, saw that, you know, his last name's Wiseau, which is based on the French word oiseau, which is the French word for bird, and thought he's French. So she said something to him in French. And he angrily, like explosively, shouted back at her in French, "I'm not fucking French."
Oh, jeez. Like, dude, take a chill pill. Whoa.
Like, if you were to ask Tani Wiseau where he's from, he would not even mention his time in France. He would just, like, to this day, still just says that he's from Louisiana. Is there a tragic backstory for the chocolate blowjob scene? I think out of all the things that movie explains, that's the only thing that doesn't get an explanation. Although we've gotten two very different explanations for why the character of Denny acts the way he does. The drug deal is in the movie because, the drug deal scene is in the movie because, like the earlier script for The Rim, which Greg Sestero's been known to go on, like, tours and do live readings of, was originally a lot longer and even more clunkily written. And had entire subplots cut out of it. And the drug deal was supposed to be part of a larger subplot that ended up getting cut. But narratively, it exists to introduce the gun that Johnny ends up shooting himself with at the end of the movie. When I say more clunkily written, I'm going to give you an example of a line of dialogue from the original pre-edit. Yes, that was the same gun. Pre-revised script of the room that was detailed in the Disaster Artist. A character is talking to Lisa and says, "Lisa, get your hot buns over here." I'm going to give you 3 guesses as to what character is saying that to her, and they're all wrong. I'm going to preemptively say they're all wrong. It's her mom that's saying that to her.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, no, Dascat, you were actually right.
Let's see.
But,
Postman's been.
There was
Postman's
also
been
a-
in East Royal Prison.
there was There was also a scrapped alternate subplot that would have revealed that Tommy Wiseau's character Johnny is actually a vampire. There we go. Posture check achieved. Yeah,
Double
the
check
original,
my list.
one of Tommy's ideas they had before he rejected it for being too infeasible to pull off on his budget was that he would have been a vampire and it would have had him making his car fly. But he didn't have the budget or connections to get a special effects team that could make that effect happen, so he just cut it. Yeah, it's a strange movie that could have been even stranger, although I think Johnny being a vampire would have been more reasonable than anything else in the movie. Yeah.
Excuse me. Hey.
Also, there's an explanation that I've gotten from Greg Sestera himself when I asked him in a private Facebook group screening of The Room that he was in the live chat for to provide I want to say director's commentary, but you know what I mean. Like, providing commentary and answering fan questions about, like, why stuff is the way it is. I asked him, like, does Tommy Wiseau actually drink a mixture of scotch and vodka? Or does he just not know his alcoholic cocktails? Because, you know, that happens during the first sex scene. Lisa
Yeah.
pours a cocktail of half scotch, half vodka. The fans have taken to calling it scotchka. According to Greg Sestero, when I asked him, he said, "I've never seen Tommy drink." Like, the man avoids alcohol.
I mean, at least that's one good thing.
You know what he does drink, though? According to the opening chapter of The Disaster Artist? According to the opening chapter of The Disaster Artist, his drink of choice when going to restaurants is a cup of salt water.
Otherwise, this code would have been unsolvable. Input 932.
Not like hot water to make tea with, just a cup of hot water.
What the fuck?
You found the blueprints for the Panda King's lair. I'll upload the data straight into your binocucom.
Sly Coop was here.
Also, he apparently has the uncanny ability to fall deep asleep and wake up fully rested at will.
Oh, jeez.
Like, he can fall asleep whenever he wants to and be out like a light, and he can wake up, like, fully cognizant and fully rusted whenever he wants to.
That's the
This
funny
man
thing,
is not
Dash Cat.
human.
Couple
Exactly, he's a vampire. I'm taking
Surprisingly
from me.
enough-
The man's a vampire.
I've actually heard the man's an alien. He's wanted in like 3 different star systems.
Yeah, but that was from a comic, and that was in the Earth 616 continuity, which is not the Earth that we live on. So that's a different universe version of Tommy Wiseau. Unless we are to imply that Tommy Wiseau is some sort of multiversal singularity like Unicron used to be.
While on the blasting station, use the left analog
I mean, he could be.
stick and the square button to fire.
Which I would not be surprised if he was.
Right?
He's a nexus being. He's the thing, he's the linchpin that holds all the universes together, like Bayonetta in Bayonetta 3.
Or like frickin' Primus and Transformers in general before they got rid of the whole multiversal singularity thing. BRB again. Sorry.
It's okay. Kill Murray. Sadly, if you try to kill Murray, it actually counts as losing a wife. So I'm not going to do that on purpose. I'll probably do it by accident, given how I usually play these stages. Besides, we don't want to kill our Bicon, Burt. I almost said Burry again. We don't want to kill our Bicon. Sly wouldn't have missed.
My doctor told me I should hydrate more, so, you know, unfortunately that means I gotta go to the bathroom more. Ugh.
Oh. My doctor said I should cut out carbs, which means that I should stop eating basically everything I eat.
Oh, shit.
He's like, cut out carbs and switch to a high-protein diet. Which, you
But
know,
seriously,
that
did
means
you think I was...
I can't have...
Yeah.
That means, like, I can't have, tons of French fries like I used to. I can still have tons of meat.
Yeah.
And don't
Why'd you
take
think I was
that the
actually
wrong
leading up to
way,
a
because
joke?
no. I was just going to follow up with, don't take that the wrong way when I say I can still have tons of meat, because I am terminally a virgin. I ain't getting laid anytime soon.
That's no good.
Ah, yes, nothing like devouring the flesh of others.
Also, you want to know something cursed about the new Weird Al music video? Which, by the way, Weird Al came out with a new music video for his latest polka medley, and it has some guest animators in it that made me very excited. It had one that made JKR very excited, which is, it has a segment animated by Gibsy Pop. But for me, as an old school Newgrounds head, it had a segment animated by the guy who did the Flash videos, based on Albuquerque and Everything You Know Is Wrong. I was like, dude, he finally got to work on an official Weird Al project. That's awesome. Like, I fucking cheered when I saw that. I'm like, hey, I recognize that, that character he used in all of his Weird Al videos. He got to do the thing. Yeah, Busy Pop animated the, Olivia Rodrigo vampire part of, the music video. And, the Flash guy, I don't know his name, but, like, if you've seen his work, you'll recognize it instantly just because he uses the same character in all of them. Looks sort of like, Fry from Futurama, but, with an underbite instead of an overbite. But, well, I saw it. He does the, Uptown Funk part of the video. So that is now 2 meme videos that I've seen Busy Pop partake in. The other one being the, Dover Boys reanimated collab.
Oh, I didn't know she did that one.
Yeah, she did one of the scenes of Dan backslide in the bar.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to rewatch that then.
Hurry, what are you doing down there?
Well, I'm minding my post when I notice this snow cone stand, and I think to myself, hey Murray, you gotta keep your energy up. So I hurry over here, and then all of a sudden, monkeys are everywhere.
Okay, but Murray, that's not a snow cone stand. That's clearly an ice cream stand. Snow cones don't come in actual, like,
Pack of monkeys.
cones like that.
Alright, remember, steer with the left stick and press square to use any nitro boosts you collect. Keep clear of those icy patches.
Thanks for the advice, Sly, but trust me, I got this under control.
Oh god, another race. I hate the races. They're not good. The controls are ass. They're making me use angry video game nerd descriptors.
Just win the race! Just win the race! I don't care what it takes! Just win the race! Just win the race!
Yeah, I've already gotten off to a bad start. What's even better is that the enemy driver's AI is completely random, so it's kind of up to luck whether you're going to win or not, no matter how well you play. Doing better here, but they keep taking my nitro boosts before I can get to them. What's the cooler line from, Cooler's Revenge? Or, sorry, Revenge of Cooler Abridged? Tonight I dine on monkey soup. Which is just a reference to Ninja Turtles, apparently. I don't know, I haven't seen the Ninja Turtles movie. Any of them.
I mean,
I didn't grow up with Ninja Turtles until the 2003 series. And that one
Same.
crossover between Power Rangers in Space and Next Mutation.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing until like years down the line.
I didn't know that Next Mutation was a thing until way later. I just thought it was like just generic Ninja Turtles incarnation, but no, it's like a very specific Ninja Turtle series that they were crossing over with. But it
Yeah.
was done so cheaply that they didn't even get the voice actors from the Next Mutation to do the voices.
Oh, jeez.
Which is why all of the turtles sound exactly the same in that episode, and talk exactly the same, and are written exactly the same. Like, you don't have Donatello being the smart one, and Michelangelo being the party dude, and Raph being the Angie one, you just have they're all Michelangelo.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which, you know, don't get me wrong, I do like Michelangelo. But 4 Michelangelos is an unbalanced team.
Yeah.
You recommend the IDW Turtle Comics or Mutant Mayhem? Like, I liked the 2003 series when I saw of it. I didn't watch much of the later seasons, because I just kind of grew out of it at that point.
Yeah.
And also that show, to my understanding, went through a live seasonal rut after, like,
Yeah,
the
it
first
did.
3 or 4 seasons.
This vehicle is identical to the
But I really like that show's incarnation of Shredder, even though they do the whole, like, multiple choice backstory thing on him, where they keep on retconning
Yeah.
who he is. Like, at first he's Oroku Saki, and then it turns out he's actually an alien pretending to be Oroku Saki.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting, but also kind of weird that they took Krang and made a whole race out of him, but didn't just have Krang.
Surprisingly enough, I've heard like the 2012 series actually.
The 2012 series did
basically
the
what they-
same thing, but they called that race the Krang instead of just having one Krang. But like the
Here's the funny
2003
thing.
series took Krang's design as an inspiration, called them the Utrons, but they didn't just have Krang at all. They were
Yeah.
just like different Utrons.
Here's the funny
I'd
thing,
say a
though.
little bit of the 2012
in-
series.
Yeah, I know a little bit more. I haven't seen much of the 2012 series, but basically, I've seen enough clips to get like a gist of the whole story of the Krang. Apparently, Krang, Krang Prime or whatever the heck it was called. I think it was Krang Prime, yeah. But anyway, they were a I guess scientists that apparently exposed themselves to like this weird ass the same mutagen that mutates the turtles. They exposed themselves to it, and in the process gained mental powers. And then, like, basically Krang Prime, their name was literally Krang. And the idea is that they actually use their mental abilities to then enslave the rest of the Utrom race. And basically that's how they became the Krang.
So it's more of like a Legion type situation where they're sort of like
Basically,
a
yeah.
consciousness controlled by a master consciousness rather than being separate beings.
Pretty
Like,
much, yeah.
Playing into terms that I would understand. It's sort of like the collectors from Mass Effect. How like they are like individual units, but they're all controlled by one hive mind, which is Harbinger.
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly how it is.
Except in the collector's case, Harbinger can like assume direct control of individual units at will. And he's not
Like,
actually a
another
collector. He just like influences them. So it's a bad comparison,
Like
is what I'm saying.
Another interesting point about the Krang is that there was a separate Krang. Apparently, he was an Utrom. Like, basically, the Utrom became like a resistance force. So the idea is that one particular Utrom named Knight, actually, turned against the rest of the Utrom resistance and basically joined forces with Krang Prime and became known as Krang Subprime. And here's the best part of it. Krang, you want to know who voiced Krang Subprime?
Ew.
None other than Gilbert Godfrey himself.
Perfect.
And like the messed up part was Krang's subprime actually called out a lot of the Krang on their on the whole proper English business, because it was like in the 2012 series, the Krang, they don't talk like you normally would. It's like they've been on Earth for like thousands of years, and Krang's subprime even says like, what is it with the Krang's invasion of called the invasion of this thing we call Earth or whatever? And he's like, we've been here for thousands of years. Like, you can't even speak proper English.
Speaking of, have you heard Gilbert's regular voice? I'm the one who showed you that and ruined the illusion of Gilbert Gottfried for you. So yes, I have. Yeah, the famous Gilbert Gottfried voice is actually a fake voice that he put on for comedic effect. If you ever listen to the Howard Stern show, or you just go on YouTube, you can find a clip from the Howard Stern show where Howard Stern plays a voicemail that was left to him by Gilbert Gottfried using his normal voice.
My heart warms at the very sight of you.
Shut up.
And it's uncanny how chill it sounds.
But I'm sure it can't be good for whoever owns this place.
You must only have eyes for me if you're too blind to see what's going on
Hey,
around here.
hey, Kier.
All I see is a pathetic
Oops,
thief who's
you
escaped
broke
justice
it.
for far too long.
I'm proud to be a thief, especially when I'm stealing from a vicious extortionist like the Panda King. Open your eyes, detective. These quaint temples are a front for an illegal explosives factory.
Don't try to confuse the issue. You criminals are all the same, and none of you can escape justice.
I must really have brain rot today, because I misread your I broke nothing and read that as I broke nutting.
No!
Please don't break nutting. That's like the one thing I'm good at. Yeah, I deserve that.
Get double bonked.
I think 2 might be overkill. Then again, as I've always said, there's no kill like overkill.
Right? Honestly, Kier, I think that would be an improvement for humanity.
How do you break nutting? I mean, I've heard of people breaking concepts before. Like, one of my favorite bits of Harry Potter lore that goes to show how much of a hack fraud writer J.K. Rowling is, you know the whole time turner thing that was introduced in the 3rd book? And how, like, once you introduce the concept of being able to time travel back in time to fix any mistake you want at will, it just kind of invalidates any kind of stakes that story can have. In either the 4th or 5th book, can't remember which. This wasn't carried over into the movies, but was in the books, I swear. There's a part where she writes out time turners from ever being used again in the series. And the way it happens is that, like, they're at the store that sells time turners. The only store that makes and sells them. And Neville knocks over the shelf containing all the time turners and breaks them all. So the reason that they never bother with time travel ever again in Harry Potter is because Neville broke time travel.
Well, I mean, Neville has always been a bit of a klutz and, forgetful one.
Well, imagine being
So,
such a klutz
it's not
that you
sup-
break the concept of time travel.
I think it's just like, I don't think it's
I
like.
mean, if I was going to bullshit my way out of the plot hole inducing scenario like that, that's exactly how I would do it. But then again, I don't claim to be a great author.
Yeah. Like, the sad fact is, I recently bought and by when I say recently, I mean like, I want to say, yeah, it was actually last year. I bought the final book that I needed for my Harry Potter book collection, but I didn't buy it on like mass market or anything like that. I just bought it for my half-price books because I'm not going to give money directly.
I say that's still acceptable.
I'm not going to give money.
I say that's acceptable because that money's not going to Joanne. So good.
Yeah. Exactly. That was my thought process. I don't agree with.
Normally, I don't encourage the boycotting of artistic works. I usually encourage separating the art from the artist. The problem with the Harry Potter series is that J.K. Rowling keeps on saying that she views the financial success of Harry Potter projects as an endorsement of her horrific views. So, in that case, you're not allowed to separate the art from the artist because she won't let you.
Yeah, so, the thing is, though, even if she won't let you, I still rebel. I don't, the thing is, for me, the Harry Potter,
I mean, as far as, buying stuff that she directly profits off of, whereas, buying from a half-price bookstore, that's buying a used book. She's not getting money from it.
Yeah. Also, Dashcat, why fuck me? What did I do?
J.K. Rowling, not you.
I know.
Also, I like right here, they don't let you get the final Thievius Raccoonus page before beating the final boss because it's written in an ancient owl language. That is because getting the final Thievius Raccoonus page gets you the secret bonus ending. And they don't want you unlocking that before the final boss. So, neat little way to contrive having to come back here later just to prevent sequence breaking.
But yeah, when it comes to Harry Potter, it's a part of my childhood, and it's something I do not.
It's a part of my childhood too, and something I have a lot of fond memories of. It's something I have a lot of fond memories of, but I just don't financially support it because I view it as encouraging harmful views. Because J.K. Rowling, because someone on J.K. Rowling's PR team will shut her the fuck up. People would not be so anal about, attacking people who buy Harry Potter products if J.K. Rowling would just shut her fucking mouth.
Yeah, exactly. I do not agree with her views whatsoever. I don't care, because it was originally I could understand, it's oh, maybe she went about it the wrong way, and I was thinking oh yeah, she meant this, but she said that instead. But then I was I kept listening more and more, I'm she just keeps compounding the issue. So if she really didn't mean what she said, and she just went about it the wrong way, then she's making it worse by constantly opening her big mouth and not shutting the fuck up. So I was just you know what? Either she really does, not mean what she's saying, and she just doesn't know when to shut the fuck up, or she really means it. Either way, do not support her. That's why I try to buy the stuff
She really means it, especially given that, she really means it, especially given the even more inflammatory stuff she's been saying recently, denying some of the atrocities committed by the Nazis.
Oh no, I'm not saying I agree with her whatsoever, and I'm not trying to defend her anymore either. I'm just saying in the beginning I used to. Yeah, in the beginning I used to.
I was like that too, because I wanted to.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt because she had usually been a pretty, liberal, but still progressive figure. But not anymore.
Nope. Definitely no.
Insolent child, you shall pay dearly for your disrespect. Still, to honor your Cooper ancestry, I will send you to your doom with the beauty of my new firework technique, Flame Fu.
Anyway, this is just your average Kung Fu Panda fight scene, right? Am I understanding that correctly? This whole fight is just your average thing from Kung Fu Panda. No? Okay. Oh yeah, because it lacks Jack Black. Let's see, let me read the chat. And the fight scenes are legitimately really well done in Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard it's got some of DreamWorks' best animation. You know, pre-Puss in Boots, at least. Oh, he fucking dead. Yeah. And also, going back to what you said earlier about Rise of the TMNT, I never saw that series just because I stopped watching TV.
Yeah.
But I've seen clips from it. It's got some of the most genuinely impressive animation I've seen for fight scenes in a Western cartoon. Like, holy shit, they went all out on every fight scene from what I've seen.
Tried watching Rise. I think it was Rise of TMNT. I think it was that. Yeah, I think that was the one
It's
where
the
it
most
was like I think
recent
a lot
series.
Yeah, you know, this is the sad fact. Like, you know, and let me say this now. I am not, you know, I am not wanting to come off racist or anything, but here's the thing. That series just was not for me. I didn't care for the fact that almost every character was basically either black sounding or just black in general. I was like, it just wasn't for me. And I don't know what it was, just was not my thing. And I know how that sounds, but really, it just, that show, I'm sure it was good. I know it has its fans, just wasn't for me.
I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. Thanks for
Honestly,
putting me in a corner.
Sorry. You know how I am, open mouth, insert foot.
I will say it had some dog shit, it had some dog shit promotion in the lead up to its release. Cause they didn't really, from what I saw at least, a lot of the promotion that they did on like social media never showed it in motion. It was just stills. And in stills, I can understand why people were skeptical about it. It's one of those things where you really need to see it in motion to understand why it's so hyped.
Like, I know that show has its fans, but, and honestly, Dash Kid, I don't even know what the hell I meant by that anyway. So, yeah.
There was one trailer before release. Yeah. And a lot of people are also butthurt about some of the like changes to the established formula that made. Like, didn't they make Raph the leader in that series? Even though that's something they've done before, so it's not like something radically new that's shaking up the formula to get mad about. Like, they've had Raph be the leader in other TMNT incarnations when Leonardo's either been MIA or stepped down before. This was just like making it how the show works this time.
Yeah.
I know one thing that people were split on was making them all different species of turtle. But
That
I'm
not
like,
too,
it's
I was not too upset about that.
That
was actually a nice touch.
I wasn't upset about that. I wasn't upset about that because it's like, yeah, they're all brothers. That doesn't mean they have to be biologically related brothers.
Physical dexterity.
A found family is just as legit as a blood relation.
I was sure Murray would be able to make some cool modifications to the team van.
And also, making them
But
all
there's,
different species of turtle allowed them to exaggerate their designs more to better fit their specific characters.
Having missed me coming down the mountain.
Yeah. No, definitely, I agree on that. I don't even know, like, that
What's the headline
that
this time?
newest,
Hot
TMNT
Latin Spitfire puts fiery panda on ice.
My gang and I took a little time off and did some shopping in Hong Kong. Thoroughly relaxed, we headed home to plan our next move.
They were not even subtle with how down bad the dev team was for Carmelita. And given that I now know she was based on Salma Hayek, I don't blame them. The intention was it being kind of an origin in a way. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
We were on our way to the
So it's the opposite of the next mutation, where that was supposed to be like after they've done everything and they're finding a new journey to go on.
Parts of the Thievius Raccoonus recovered
Not to mention every TMNT series has changes in some way. Yeah, just look at the 80s series. It's nothing like the comics.
Of the mysterious clockwork. Is this a strange coincidence, or is there
You know, the
something I'm
80s
missing?
series that everyone holds up as a holy grail is nothing like the source material. It's almost like a series that's been around for decades is supposed to change and iterate itself regularly to keep things fresh and not just retell the same story every few years. I'm looking at you, Transformers.
Right. Yep. Oh, here's another reason why I'm yet another reason why I do not intend to watch wait, is this one I think? Yeah, Mutant Mayhem. I am not ever going to watch that movie.
Okay, so he wasn't thinking of Rise of the TMNT, he was thinking of Mutant Mayhem. The movie that came out last year. Or was it the year before?
No, it was last year, but I don't think Dashcat was talking about.
No, I'm saying the ones you were talking about.
No, actually, Rise of the TMNT, actually, that I was specifically talking about that I was just not a fan of, and all, for one reason or another, just did not care for it. But that's another show version of TMNT I will not watch, and that's Mutant Mayhem, just because I wasn't too keen on the idea of how they portrayed Splinter, and I especially do not like the fact that Splinter is voiced by Jackie Chan.
We do not stand Chan.
And to be honest, I never really cared for Jackie Chan in the beginning.
To be honest, the best Splinter we've ever had was Mako. So the only way we could ever get casting that great again would be if they hired, why am I forgetting his name? The guy that replaced Mako in all of Mako's roles after Mako's passing.
Hey, Shadow
Dragon. You're in time for the finale. I keep forgetting how short the first Sly Cooper is. I will say now with, this is my first time getting this far in years, because I don't play Sly Cooper all that much, but, getting here now with my, game design hat on, I have to say it's really smart to color code all of the, obstacles you have to shoot in this section with, shades of bronze and green. So you know exactly what to shoot and what's part of the environment. I still
I'm
got
all
Face Slide
for the-
through when I can. I'll probably get to Thieves of Time, though I've heard it's pretty much hated. I find that a lot of the hate for Thieves in Time is pretty overblown. Like, the story's absolute dog shit. From the get-go. It has an irredeemably bad story. But the gameplay's fine. In some areas, it's actually better. The animation's really nice. The level design's good. It's really a case where it's a game that's let down by having a bad plot. A bad and unfinished plot that's probably never going to be finished. Oh yeah, and it also has abysmal load times, which for one of the last, main releases for PS3 is inexcusable. Like, it came out in 2013, it shouldn't have load times like that anymore. They should have learned how to optimize it by that point. Yeah, here's my take. I don't think we're ever going to get a Sly 5, because Sly 4 just fucks up the story so bad that making a Sly 5 would be a pain in the ass to try and continue from. So, I think we'll probably get, either, an Insane Trilogy style remake that leads to a different Sly 4, if it sells well, or we just get a straight up reboot. Because I don't see any way that you can continue off of the dumpster fire that is Sly 4's story and make a good follow-up to it that manages to satisfy people that were let down by all the bad writing in Sly 4. Also the fact that it's just, from an arcane standpoint, it doesn't make sense to make a follow-up to Sly 4 because it's been over 10 years since that came out. And it was a late release PS3 game that not many people played. So, making a follow-up 10 years later to that wouldn't make financial sense either. I mean, we're going to get ports of the old games at the very least. Because we've already got the first game. They're not just gonna leave the first game on its own. I'm glad that we're finally getting ports of the PS2 versions instead of just the HD collection. Because the HD collection's got some issues.
Nice shooting, Sly! Looks like we're in the clear.
Sony, please, I need HD PlayStation 5 graphics of Carmelita. Make it on Unreal Engine 4 and port it to PC so people can get wild with the modding, if you know what I mean.
We've got to get through that security door on the far side of the cavern. The only way to unlock it is to analyze at least 60 of those hanging computers.
Would have been easy to get at them if Murray hadn't thrashed our new turret.
Yeah, won't be a problem. I can hack the computer's connection coupling so they'll fall.
Especially Slide 2's Carmelita.
Murray will have to run over them with the van.
She does have the most outfits in Slide 2, not counting Thieves in Time.
Square button if anyone tries to keep you from those computers.
Because she has that outfit from the ballroom dance scene. That's really pretty.
Computers up there. These fire slugs seem intent on getting to them before us. The first one to 60 computers wins.
Oh, this is balls. This is balls. This is just crystal popcorn on crack. If you played Spyro 2, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh
I've
yeah.
forgotten all about this. Fuck this section. It doesn't help that in my attempts to push the fire slugs out of the way, I'm pushing them closer to the random places that the monitors drop.
You accidentally scream out, and they jumping all out the back of your car. Would you make me a sandwich?
I genuinely don't see how you're supposed to win this minigame without really good luck, because there's multiple fire slugs, only one of you, and half the time the monitors seem to just drop right on top of them, so they instantly score. Like, Sly 1, in my opinion, has some of the worst minigames of the series, because so many of them are just up to RNG. Like, if you get bad drops, then you're just not gonna win. Oh, use the battering ram. Okay. It would be nice if I had like a little... There we go. Square is the battering ram. Okay, so yeah, it is my fault. I take back what I said, mostly. Although this is still a horrid minigame.
Yep.
And I still stand by that Sly 1 has the worst minigames. You know, not counting the motion-controlled ones in Thieves in Time. Which, that was weird that they had so many motion-controlled minigames in Thieves in Time. Because it was 2013. People were not hyped for motion controls anymore. Like, other first-party Sony titles of that era were not using mandatory motion-controlled minigames anymore. Because people had realized motion controls are bullshit.
Oh, this is funny. One of my friends on Facebook, she's saying how like she didn't get to see any of the Grant Park Music Festival last night that I went to because apparently she got turned away at the door because they met capacity. And I'm thinking like, you know, I found a spot that was like not actually locked off or anything, and no one heard where I was sitting. I was still enjoying the music, so I'm just like, you know. I told her, it's like, hey, I got a line, got a spot near one of the gates. No way I was gonna wait in line just to potentially get turned away. I was going there to listen to some John Williams music. No way.
Oh, they were playing John Williams there?
Yeah, it was John Williams music.
You didn't tell me what kind of music it was. You just said it was a music festival.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I posted that.
Yeah, thank you for the bits and for the compliment, Lilo. And when it comes to the fan favorite in the Sly community, it's usually split between Sly 2 and Sly 3. Sly 2 for its gameplay and story, but both for their story. But Sly 2 for its more focused gameplay, and Sly 3 for its more varied gameplay.
Misunderstanding. We've got to free her.
Are you crazy, Sly? Clockwork probably stuck her.
So I meant to say this earlier, but thanks to all the subs and bits you guys have been giving me for this month, I've finally, last time I checked, which was earlier today, if I'm doing my math right, I should have passed the payout threshold by now. So come the 12th, I should get around $50 or so extra next month. So, yay! I like to thank you guys for that, because you know, it's thanks to your support that I'm able to have a little bit of extra income every couple months. I know I'm not like, you know, a big streamer making hundreds of dollars every month. Yeah, let's party.
Hey,
I I'm not a big streamer making a living off of this stuff, but you know, just having a little bit of extra money every couple months to surprise me, it's always really heartwarming and makes me feel like I've accomplished something.
I mean, the way I see it is like, look, you're having fun and you're making a little extra money.
I'm actually fine with the fact that I'm not making a living off of this, because I would not want this to become my job. That would ruin it for me.
Yeah, no, I get
The
that.
moment this starts feeling like work is the moment I'm going to lose interest in it.
I don't blame you. But yeah, so it was. So yeah, I apologize for not mentioning that it was a John Williams presentation, but that's the only reason I went out to Grand Park for the music festival in the first place, because they were playing John Williams music.
Yeah, you just said you were going to a music festival. I was like, okay, I figured it was probably like some, you know, hoity-toity bullshit. But no, John Williams music, hell yeah, I understand going to that.
I actually took a couple of videos of. I actually recorded a couple of videos, like only like 30 seconds to a minute long each, of just some of the music and the ambiance of the overall, festival. But, you know, again, it's like, the way I see it is like, I don't care that I didn't get in to actually, you know, be like near the pavilion and everything to hear the music. I was fine where I was sitting. So long as I was able to hear the music and, you know, enjoy it, I didn't care.
I'm gonna do like a little, you know, polling my audience right now unofficially. Because I've been thinking about ideas for like t-shirts and branded merch to potentially sell just for a little bit of extra revenue. And one of them that we thought would be a fun one would be for some Maxine merch, specifically like a t-shirt or some sort of, you know, branded merch design that says Maxine's Massive Milkers. How many of you guys would genuinely want something like that in your collection?
Honka tonka patonkas!
You wouldn't mind? Hey, at least one person buying it is better than nothing. Your parents, on the other hand, yeah.
You got me wrong, Miss Fox. I'm here to rescue you.
You sentimental fool. Empathy has always been the downfall of the Cooper clan.
I knew this was a trap. Looks like I'm going to have to do some fast and furious hacking to shut down that gas.
Why is he in a cage? Because Clockwork put her in the cage to lure Sly in there so he can kill him with a deadly neurotoxin.
Haven't had to do this in a while. Okay, I used the left analog stick to steer.
Anyway, this is what hacking looks like, everyone. This is definitely what it looks like when you hack a computer.
Like I triggered one of Clockwork's security algorithms. Stay sharp, Bentley.
To think that they brought this, of all things, back in Thieves in Time. And made it like a regular mechanic that Bentley has to do.
Level 3!
Furries and hacking go hand in hand? Yeah, especially when it comes to hacking Republican organizations. Yeah, the arcade hack pack. That was the only DLC we got for Thieves in Time, when Sanzaru was promised by Sony that they would be able to make a DLC for Thieves in Time that follows up on its infamous cliffhanger ending, and then like, a lot of people pin that on Sanzaru, and honestly, I kinda do, because they shouldn't have had a cliffhanger in the first place. Like, basically the reason we never got a follow-up on that cliffhanger is because Sony just went back on their promise for no apparent reason.
Why am I not surprised?
Sony had a tendency to screw over developers with broken promises in the PS3 generation. They were not rightfully cocky back then. Like, they were extremely cocky given that they were in last place for most of that generation. The PS3 generation feels like a fever dream. The PS3 generation is one of the most chaotic generations of video game development because, like, the jump from like standard definition game development to HD game development was so traumatic for so many developers. Like, it was almost as bad. If actually, in some ways, it was even worse than the jump from 2D to 3D gaming was. Although this time it wasn't due to people being unfamiliar with the 3D space and having to kind of figure out as they were going how 3D works. It was due to Sony and Microsoft vastly overpromising and under-delivering on what their console's hardware was capable of, as well as, you know, people not expecting that HD game development takes a lot more time, money, and manpower than anything they'd ever done before. There were some of the best games, but I feel like it was only at the end of its life. Yeah, that's basically how it was. It took them until, like, the last year of that generation to really get everything sorted out. To where games were coming out polished, running reasonably well, and coming out on schedule and on budget. Because you look at the first year or so of the first like year or two of that whole generation, and it's a lot of some of the worst games of all time. Because people were like, developers were going in expecting like, oh, we're gonna be able to make all these like brand new experiences that were never possible on the previous gen, but we're gonna develop it like we're developing for the previous gen. So we're gonna make like games that are bigger, but have the same staff sizes for the older, smaller games we were making. And we're also going to look at those tech demos that Sony and Microsoft are playing out that show, like, the literal best-case scenarios of what the consoles are capable of, which by best-case scenarios, I mean when you're basically rendering only one model on screen and nothing else, not even backgrounds, and assume that's what every game's going to be able to look like.
Level 3!
Look.
It's like well, I say I've always liked the PS3. I liked the PS3 once I got one, which was 2011, so pretty late into its life cycle. But it's definitely a console that has a pretty spotty library, especially when it comes to multi-platform titles. Because usually, like, The PS3 was notoriously hard to develop for because it was a very CPU-focused console with a unique architecture that no one else on the market was using. So there wasn't like a good way to estimate how well it would run on actual hardware. So like, what developers would do when it came to games that were, yeah, we did get that Final Fantasy VII Remake test demo. Yeah, and that was a case of basically them pre-rendering everything and then saying this is what a game could look like, with knowing full well that there was no way in hell they were gonna get a game to look like that on the fucking PS3. Like, Square's notorious for overselling their tech demos. Like, you can see tech demos from the PS2 generation from Square that make it look like you're going to get movie-quality animation in a game. I mean, technically we did get movie quality animation in your average PS2 game. It was just, the movies in question were like Ratatouille and The Little Panda Fighter. What's that one for? Oh, message all right. Good job, Surrybot. What's that one first-person shooter that had a reveal trailer that was completely animated but made to look like gameplay? That would be Killzone 2. It was Sony really trying to one-up the Halo 3 reveal by being like, look, we got our own first-person shooter and it looks good. And they just they made a pre-rendered trailer and pretended that it was actual gameplay. Yeah, that was Killzone. I just find it funny that Sony banked on Killzone as like one of their key IPs for the longest time, when no one gave a rat's ass about Killzone.
Or turtle. Or sad little turtle.
It would be like a shame because Killzone was a good game. It's not that the games were bad, it's just that they never caught the public's interest. Like, they have their fandom, I'm sure. It's just, like, one, PlayStation at the time wasn't known for its FPS games in the first place, because its controller just wasn't good for the FPS genre. And second, Killzone's just never had the mass appeal that Halo does. Killzone was Insomnia. Killzone was Killzone was, I don't know what studio did Killzone, but Insomniac was Resistance. Resistance was the thing that Insomniac worked on for the PS3 generation, apart from the occasional Ratchet & Clank game.
Like, I think the first Resistance game was actually the best. I've never played any of them, but I'm talking story-wise. I liked the first game's story better than any of the others.
Like, I've never played Killzone. I've never had any interest in playing Killzone, but my understanding of Killzone is that, like, everyone who plays Killzone likes the Hellgas, not just because they have, like, a really intimidating design, but because the way the story's framed makes it so, like, the devs and storytellers want you to root for the ISA, but in the context of the actual story, everyone ends up rooting for the Hellgas, because despite looking evil, they're the oppressed ones. like, you're rooting for the villains not because they look cooler and have the cooler tech, but because the story is so ineptly told that they have you rooting for the wrong side.
You can. Make your way to the top of the death ring. I stashed my jetpack there before Clockwork nabbed me.
Now that we're a team and all, I hate to leave your side.
Hold on. This truce is only temporary. Once we beat Clockwork, I'm coming after you.
Really?
Well, maybe I'll give you a 10-second head start.
Alright, this part right here gives me PTSD flashbacks. And it's because, you know how I told you that I never beat this game as a kid? Because it would always freeze at Clockwork's lair, and then my save file got corrupted, and I couldn't delete it, so I was just stuck with a dense save file that I couldn't delete or overwrite. And it made it so I could also never save my game whenever I played it, so I would have to try and play it all in one sitting. This was the part of the game that it would always freeze at.
Oh, shit.
So whenever I do this part, I'm always like, I'm kind of on the edge of my seat, like, please don't press. I've heard that Resistance 3 is generally regarded as the best game of the Resistance series. And, like, it's shockingly good for a first-person shooter of that era. Which, a lot of the FPS games of that era haven't held up very well, or were contentious at their time of release. Although I think we all know the real GOAT of PS3 first-person shooters was, what was it called? Haze. Yeah, that was the real GOAT. The one that didn't fucking work and sunk its entire company. The one that, the publisher screwed over by raising people's hype too much because they directly, like, against the developers' wishes, they were marketing it as the Halo killer. Which, if you know the history of games marketed as the Halo killer, anytime that game's marketed as the Halo killer, it always ends up being a financial bomb.
Well, speaking of Halo killer, did you hear that the Halo series was the show, the Halo show was
canceled? Use your words. I'm not surprised. People only hate-watched the first season, and no one wanted to watch the second. Not even for hate-watch purposes. Like, the Halo show, from what I understand, is a shockingly bad video game adaptation, not just because of its quality, but because they should know better than to make that kind of show that, like, tries to quote-unquote improve on the game by making it like the tangential opposite. Thank you for the raid, Mighty Owl.
But enough talk. How about you?
Thank you for the raid. Showed up just in time for the finale of Sly Cooper. Sorry you broke me a bit because I never know how to handle being raided. Thank you.
Welcome, Mighty Owl.
yeah, there's the Discord if you guys decide you like me and decide you want to join my community. There's the link. Yeah, we're gonna be finishing up the boss fight here, and then we'll be going back for that final Thievius Raccoonus page. And I fucked up right there. Good God. You can tell I'm flustered. Oh my God.
Slash those gears with your cane. You've got to keep moving.
I keep forgetting at 10 p.m. every Saturday night that reminder goes off for me and restock my medication.
It can be worse.
Oh, trust me.
You know what
it
happens
is
to me
worse.
at 10 p.m. every Saturday night?
What?
Nothing.
Smart ass. But yeah, no, it's screwed up for me because the fact is I keep forgetting that thing actually does spout my real name at 10 p.m. every Saturday night, saying, reminding me to restock my meds.
Well, it's a good thing that it's a good thing that with the noise filter settings I've got on my side, it doesn't your mic doesn't pick it up.
Oh, okay, that's good. Because every time that goes off, I'm always worried. It's like, oh shit.
Come on, let me move. Let me move. Hey, no. Fuck.
How do you like a raccoon? Fried or grilled?
You know, I don't think raccoons have enough meat on their bones to make for a very good meal, unless you're like absolutely desperate. It's like people that eat rabbits, and rabbits are tiny. They don't have much meat.
Not unless you're going for like one of those oversized rabbits, like those giant ones. But then again, it's like, why would you want to eat those?
They're so cute and cuddly.
You're asking the wrong person, my dude.
Every time I do this, I always think of that one part from the PS1 Spider-Man game, where it's like, Spidey, move. Gotta keep moving.
Oh,
the climbing
monster,
up we're climbing up the building, moving away from the police helicopter.
Oh, that. I was thinking like you were talking about the Monster Ox sequence.
No.
Yeah. Now I remember.
I mean, the Monster Ox sequence is just as stressful, but yes.
Yeah. It's been a long ass time since I played the Spider-Man PS1 game.
Monster Ox is stressful just because, one hit kill.
Right.
It's not just one hit kill, you get a special death scene for dying there.
Right? Like, Monster Ox basically just constantly slaughtering you.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, Monster Ox gave me nightmares as a kid, which is part of why I never beat that game as a kid without cheating. I would just put in the unlock everything code so I can just watch the final cutscene.
Yeah, for me it was more like the fact is that I did not have access. Here's the stupid thing. For me, when I played the game on as a kid, and here's the thing. When I played it back in the day, when I first played it anyway, I played it on PC. And I had a crappy Windows 95 computer. So there was that, and then of course, to make matters worse, I always got to the end of the game. I always got to the very end. I got to Monster Rock all the time. But never could I ever fucking beat Monster Rock. For whatever reason, he overtook me.
Do it pretty reliably nowadays, depending on what difficulty I'm playing.
Here's
Like,
the
if
messed
it's
up part.
anything above normal, then I can't.
You want to know what the difficulty was back in the day that I actually played the Spider-Man game
For
on
the
PC?
follow. What? Thank you for the follow, Nix. And I have to ask before sorry to interrupt you, JKR, but Cloud, what's this raid you're doing? Or is this just a coinky dink? Pure coincidence, you assure me? Okay, how's the... I'm trying to remember how the delivery from the Just a Pancake videos go. Okay, I believe you. I need to stream Kingdom Hearts sometime, just so I can meme out with, the references to Just a Pancake.
But, yeah, so even on kid mode, I could never actually beat Monster Rock as a kid.
Oni-chan, I need more head pats, Oni-chan.
Thank you for the head pats.
And we can do other loot things, but I need my head pats, Oni-chan.
Fucking hell, I'll pat your damn head down. Stop!
I think for me, what happened was, I know I eventually did beat the game and made it past Monster Rock, and I think that was still on kid mode, but I did that when I was like a teenager at that point, so I don't think I've ever actually beaten the game on normal. Then again, I could be completely
I've
wrong.
never beaten the game on normal either, but I have beaten the final level on normal. Suck, what do I do? There we go. Aha! Oh no, ads, no!
Okay, that jetpack is easy to fly.
Right when the final fight's coming up. Okay, but ad break should be finishing a second now, so you can actually see the final fight.
Sly Cooper, you have escaped my gas chamber and destroyed my death ray.
Love Clockwork's voice.
Coopers always find a way to beat me.
Always? So that was you in the background of all those old pictures in the Thievius Raccoonus. How old are you?
Perfection has no age.
What? You're immortal?
Revenge is the prime ingredient in the fountain of youth. I've kept myself alive for hundreds of years with a steady diet.
Yeah, Clockwork sounds so menacing. Like, it's not just the deepness of his voice, it's how monotone he sounds. Like, he is furious, but he can't display that emotion, that angry emotion in his voice due to how mechanized he is. So it's Tranquil Fury, and Tranquil Fury is one of my favorite ways to display. Oh no, not the rep of John Dacre. We haven't seen him in a while. Oh, hallelujah. John Dacre.
Game over. You lose.
It's right like a big pizza bite at Samori. I forgot the controls. Fuck. Okay, so it is just analog stick controls. Yes, what better fitting music for the final climax between Sly Cooper and the killer of his family than John Dacre singing karaoke.
You're in love when you know that you feel some more to me, but what you see back
It's
in
me,
old
what you see back in old
That's
Napoli.
amore.
That's amore.
Nice shooting, Sly! You got him! Wow, that's one tough owl.
I don't get it. You're so familiar with my family. You must have known my father had a son. If you hated the Coopers so much, why did you let me live when you stole the Thievius Raccoonus?
Because I wanted to show the world that without your precious book, the Cooper line was nothing.
Ah, well, there's where you're wrong. The Thievius Raccoonus doesn't create great thieves. It takes great thieves to create the Thievius Raccoonus.
Enough, Sly Cooper. It ends here. I will finish you like I finished your father. And the Cooper line will be erased, and the only master thief will be Clockwork. My skills.
Fun fact, did
This
you
is
know
just me
Clockwork wasn't always
speculating.
supposed to be an owl?
What was he supposed to be then?
In earlier concepts, Clockwork was supposed to be a gargoyle.
Oh.
My intellect is refined. My experience is greater.
He finished his father kinky? Hell yeah. I mean, with how horny the Sly Cooper series is, I wouldn't put it past him.
I'm just gonna spout a random guess here, but I bet Clockwork is not all he claims to be. I'm assuming that there's like a
What do you
whole
mean?
line of Clockworks. I get the idea that there's like maybe like you know, like how there was an entire line of the Sly line of the Coopers.
Oh no, there is only one Clockwork. He he mechanized himself so he could be immortal.
Oh.
Like,
So I
he's
was
not
just thinking,
lying.
like,
He
oh.
actually did do all that.
Oh, okay. So he actually is the one and only Clockwork.
Yes. But yeah, in earlier design documents of this first like thing was actually supposed to be a well, I fucked up there. He was not supposed to be a sex, but he was supposed to be a stone gargoyle instead of a mechanical owl. And we find out in Sly 2 what exactly makes him so indestructible. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it because it's a really stupid reveal that doesn't really make much sense. It's literally the power of hate that keeps him alive.
That's it. He wasn't being figurative. He was being literal.
Like, basically the core of his being is a computer chip called the hate chip.
Oh, jeez.
Think of it as, in Transformers terms, think of it as his spark.
Yeah. I'm also thinking like, oh great, this guy is powered by a Red Lantern battery.
I mean, the way I think about it is, Owl literally too angry to die.
Yeah.
Like that meme of, the Doomslayer, man literally too angry to die.
I am.
He thinks, therefore he is. I mean, I guess you could say that Raccoon is hot stuff. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
JKR furry arc, hello?
It's a joke! Jeez!
My God, the shotgun!
Yeah, I deserve that, Cloud.
You're the weakest Cooper, I guess.
No. Absolutely not.
Hey, at least it's not Pegatron this time.
Don't give them ideas.
At least it's a new way to torment you.
Oh, damn it, Dash Cat.
My intellect is refined. My experience is greater.
I hate every single fucking one of you.
We love you too, JKR. And before anyone says no homo, all the homo.
No!
Strange that the game ends with a minigame. Cooper games tend to end with minigames. Especially Sly 1 is like the entire final level is basically just a series of minigames.
I am. Blue 7. Flowers. Never. Lava 2.
Awooga! Awooga! Awooga!
I will live. Immortal.
Damn it! Shadow Dragon! Just when I was getting good.
Shadow Dragon.
Power cells open. Sequence initiated.
Alright, let's beat the shit out of this owl.
It took some tricky maneuvering, but I...
Eegum Boolkum nearly killed me, goddamn. And the game crashed. Guys, we have to do that again. What a fitting end for the game bed. I have most of an experience of it just crashing on me at the end. Sly never did defeat Clockwork. Do we call this a win? I did beat the final boss. What's a worse cliffhanger, this or Thieves in Time? That's the correct answer. I can't even do the in-game reset out of this. I'm stuck.
Well, shit.
That's the problem with playing. That's the problem with playing games off a hard drive. Is if you don't have a really good setup, which I'm using kind of a jury rig setup. The games tend to crash after a while. Oh god. So I think we're gonna have to end it here tonight.
It's a sign.
It's a sign that it's time to move on from Sly 1. I'm gonna count this as a win, but we're going to say that the beginning of Sly 2 is going to be retconned from the way our Sly 1 playthrough ended. We're going to say that they threw out the original ending and wrote a new one. You know, just to keep things consistent. And no, I can't stop the sound because if I mute my game audio, that mutes like most of my PC.
Oh,
you know what?
shit.
Fuck it, I'll do it. Actually, no, I can just mute the capture card.
Oh, that's better.
There we go. So we won't have that going on. Sly and Carmelita make out and they fuck. It was gross. Exactly. It was very gross. Because as it turns out, watching a fox and a raccoon have sex is not all that appealing. They both got rabies.
Oh god, that's bad.
I think you might be right.
What makes it worse is the fact that I can actually picture that in my mind because of that damn sound that I kept hearing
now
for the past 2 minutes.
Oh,
The
so now
sound is
you're
what made me-
picturing now you're picturing some intense fucking between Sly and Carmelita? Like I said,
Only
JKR
because-
furry arc when?
No, it's because of the damn sound effect. The fact is, like, for whatever reason, I don't know exactly what it was that Sly was trying to say, but that's not how it came off.
JKR, more like JKF.
You're lucky my self-destruct systems are currently disabled.
I'm lucky that you can't afford to self-destruct right now.
Eh.
All right, we're gonna raid Grimm, because Grimm is awesome. I met them recently, and they are awesome. They're playing an Ocarina of Time randomizer. They're also going to be in the next Star Productions fan dub playing Roxas. So look out for that when it comes out. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to the Raiders for the raid. Thank you to JKR for co-commentary tonight. I'll see you guys next time. And until then, unpleasant dreams.
I'm not doing it. I'm not going to say, well, we're the Boys of Chorus. We hope you like a show. We hope you're rooting for us, but now we have to go. You can't make me.
But you just did.